We are Blackboard. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Kinsler swings, high drive, left center field, ball hit well. That ball is up, and that ball it's out of here, a home run for Kinsler. A three-run shot, and the Tigers have the lead. On the heels of a heart-thumping win yesterday, the Tigers are right back at it. 9-game road trip comes to a close. The final game in this series today featuring the Detroit Tigers and the Houston Astros. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba alongside Ron Allen. Glad to have you with us. And what a finish to yesterday's ball game, Ron. Tigers win again on the road. Ian Kinsler, the heroics, he'll be out of the ball game today, though. A much-needed day off.
Well, they got some other guys that can most definitely step up in the absence of Ian Kinsler. And if you're the Detroit Tigers, regardless of what you've done in Cleveland and Texas, your mindset today has to simply be winning the series against the Houston Astros, and that's what they're thinking about.
All right, now the Tigers have been spectacular on the road this year. Just 500 at home, but 11 over on the road. And this road trip, just another indication of how good they have been. A 7-1 record so far through 8 of these ball games. The two numbers that jump out for me, average with runners in scoring position and the starters ERA, they've just been spectacular.
Well, obviously, when you have the kind of starters that the Tigers have, their 5-man rotation is one of the best in all of baseball. A lot of people knew that at the beginning of the year. When their starters do get on rolls like this, as they did earlier in the season when they were 27-12, they can rack off a lot of W's, and that's exactly what they're doing right now.
All right, now Drew Smyly is really starting to come into his own. He'll get the start today for the Tigers. The left-hander will be in search of another win, but the month of June has been really good for Drew.
Well, he's just getting consistent reps now. Beginning of the season, whether it was a rain out or whether it was a scheduled off day, he was always the guy that was getting skipped. So he would pitch one day, have 7 days off, and then get the ball again. He could not get in any rhythm doing that, but he has gotten in a real nice rhythm in the month of June. Take a look at the numbers. They are absolutely sparkling. A 1.44 ERA. He's only issued 5 walks. He's given up 2 home runs. And left-handers, well, he is death on left-handers. Left-handers are hitting only 1.43 against Drew Smyly. He's a real nice number 5.
Now, would you believe that Miguel Cabrera and Victor Martinez are 0 for 18 combined in this series? Really kind of hard to believe, yet the Tigers have a chance to win this series today.
Well, somebody's going to pay, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say that those two guys, one of them is going to have a big moment today, and the Tigers will eventually win this series because you don't shut down Victor Martinez and Miggy for 3 consecutive days.
We are certainly looking forward to that. Tigers try and win this series, wrapping up the road trip after a short break. Back to the Call Sam Studios. We'll check in with Shannon Hogan. More heroics coming up today. Stay tuned. Game 3 up next. Tigers Stros on Fox Sports Detroit. Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. By Ram Trucks. Ram 1500 is Motor Trend's 2014 Truck of the Year and first ever back-to-back champion. And by Maxwell House Large Can Coffee, good to the last drop. Welcome back to Houston. The Tigers and the Houston Astros wrapping up this 3-game series. And for the Detroit Tigers, the finish of a 9-game road trip. The Tigers starting lineup in this one here today, presented by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. It looks like this. Austin Jackson leading it off. He'll play in center field, followed by Torrey Hunter in right. Miguel Cabrera first base today. Victor Martinez back as the DH. J.D. Martinez in left field. What a road trip for J.D. Castellanos at third. Avila, Suarez, and Romine, your bottom three in the lineup. Kids Day here at the ballpark today. They lined up some of the local youngsters with their heroes as the Astros took the field here this afternoon. We got some autographs as well. That's what Sundays are all about, around Major League Baseball. And even a signature from Jose Altuve on the back of the jersey. Very nicely done, Mr. Altuve. The Tigers today will be facing the right-handed offerings of Scott Feldman.
They signed Scott Feldman in the offseason to a 3-year contract. They wanted him to come over and to be their opening day starter, also to anchor a very young pitching staff, and he's done just that. Checks in with a 3-5 record, a 4 ERA, 43 strikeouts, 20 walks. He is not a hard thrower. His top fastball about 91 miles an hour. Let's take a look at the starting defensive alignment for the Houston Astros today. It is brought to you by Tim Hortons in the outfield, same way they lined up yesterday. Pose, Presley, and Springer. Dominguez, VR, Altuve, and Singleton in the infield. And Chris Corcoran, catching his first game of the 3-game series.
So we're just about ready for baseball here this afternoon. Brad Ausmus in his return to Houston lost the first game of the series. Then, of course, he and Kinsler bailed out the Tigers yesterday with a 3-run home run in the 9th inning, leading the Tigers to a win and leading to those smiles as well as we get ready for baseball here today. And I think maybe everybody's smiling at the fact, rather, we get to go home after this one.
No doubt. It's been a long trip. It started in Cleveland, then into Arlington. That would be Texas, and then followed up here against the Astros. New handshake going on down there.
Carlos Corcoran getting the start behind the dish here today for the Astros. He'll form the battery with the pitcher Feldman. They had Castro catching the first 2 in this contest. And so Feldman's set to go to work, and here's the first pitch of the ball game. It's up high to Austin Jackson. AJ is elevated to the leadoff slot for the first time this year. Of course, he's very familiar with batting leadoff. He's done that in his entire career with the Tigers. And it's a strike called from Scott Feldman. Brad Ausmus pretty plain about it today, saying we're trying to get AJ going. Maybe this will do it, getting him back in a familiar spot. The 1-1 is a strike called, 1-2 now on the Tigers leadoff man.
Well, all of his career, Austin Jackson has been the leadoff hitter, and his overall body of work as far as touching home plate, well, no one better than AJ. Since the beginning of the 2010 season, he scored 390 runs.
Well, you can say that, well, sure, he's going to score a lot of runs with the guys behind him, but he's got to get on base before that happens. And he's done a really good job of that in this leadoff slot. Trying to get something going here to start this ball game. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count. And Jackson rolls that one foul, third base side.
Feldman stands 6 feet 7 inches, and he has one of those Doug Fister type curveballs. He throws it right over the top. It's got a real big break to it, and because of the built-in arm advantage and the height advantage, it's a really good pitch for him.
6'7", 230, 31 years of age. And Jackson rolls one foul again. 2-2 the count remains.
And Feldman had no problem taking the offer that the Houston Astros offered him in December. His wife is from Texas, and so he's quite at home and happy here pitching for the Houston Astros.
Feldman, of course, many years with the Texas Rangers, had a couple of really good seasons there in Texas. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss, and down goes Jackson, one gone. First strike out of the ball game for Feldman. That's how we start this one here today. We'll bring up Torrey Hunter. Torrey batting in the 2 spot and batting .256. He is 9 for 21 against Feldman in his career. Torrey, like Jackson, has batted in a few different spots in the lineup, but according to Brad Ausmus, he said that he feels Torrey is most comfortable batting in the 2 spot.
Here's that real good breaking ball that Feldman will feature today. He also struck Austin Jackson out on that same exact breaking ball.
1 ball and 1 strike. There's a bouncing ball foul down the third base line. Hunter batting .256. He's hit 9 home runs and knocked in 37, but just 1 for 9 in the series. And for Torrey, it's been a slow road trip. Only a couple of hits on this entire trip. 1 in Texas and 1 here in Houston. He'll foul that one straight back to the screen. 1-2 to count on Hunter. Feldman making his 14th start. Had some time on the disabled list. Little bicep tendonitis. Missed about 3 weeks. He has since returned to the rotation where he is one of the elder statesmen. Here's the 1-2. Busted him inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Waiting on deck, Miguel Cabrera. Now the 2-2 pitch. And it's popped up. First base side for Singleton. Into foul territory for the out. Hunter has gone 2 away. Time now for the Bernstein advantage, and it certainly belongs to Miguel Cabrera when you look at his career numbers against Scott Feldman. 9 for 13. Couple of doubles, couple of homers. And on top of that, 5 RBIs. So he has had full ownership of the Houston Astros right-hander. Batting here with 2 outs, nobody on. And Cabrera and Martinez, the 3-4 combination for the Tigers, have been pretty well stopped in this series. A little Altuve at 1 o'clock. For his pregame lift. 1 ball and 1 strike. Both native Venezuelans. Altuve certainly looks up to Cabrera in more ways than one. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, what a series it's been for Altuve.
He's fun to watch. He plays the game at a totally different speed. There are other players in the league that are faster than Altuve, but they don't play the game with the same kind of energy.
Here's the 1-2. Astros are playing Cabrera to pull. They've got 3 defenders to the left of second base. And Miggy in the series 0 for 9. Something's got to give today with either or both Martinez and Cabrera.
That's right.
Who have both been hitless in this series, although they have hit a couple of balls hard, like that one. Shot to the gap and right, but it's going to be caught by George Springer. And it's a 1-2-3 inning. No runs, no hits, and nobody left. Memphis Beef Express out there in left field. One of the little differences of this ballpark here. Here's the starting lineup for the Astros, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Jose Altuve leads it off. He leads solid baseball with 113 hits. Springer and Singleton also at the top, very youthful top three. Guzman, Dominguez, Hose in the middle, and a bottom three of VR, Corcoran, and then Alex Presley. And they will be facing the left-handed offerings of Drew Smyly, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Hey, Drew was real good his last start against the Texas Rangers. He'll be trying to do the same thing here against the Houston Astros, looking for his 5th victory. The ERA is outstanding for Drew Smyly at 3.19, fastball, cutter, curveball, changeup, part of his 4-pitch mix.
So here is Altuve to start it off, batting .343. And a little guy with a couple of homers, 26 RBIs, but what a 3-game set he has had to this point. He looks at ball 1 outside. 6 out of 9 in the series for Jose Altuve. He's also had 4 stolen bases. It was a big part of their win in game 1 of the series, and it's fouled back out of play. Smyly, the first time he faced the Astros this year, went up against his college teammate Dallas Keuchel. That was a quickly paced game, and Drew is moving at a really nice pace in that contest.
Keuchel threw a ton of ground ball outs in that game, and he worked very efficiently himself.
That's in there for a strike, and now Altuve behind in the count, 1-2. Altuve's done so many things well this year, but the one number that sticks out, he bats over 400 against lefties, 424. Pulls that one on the ground, and he's just added to that total with another hit.
Take a peek at the Tigers' defensive alignment behind Drew Smyly. Romine at second base today. Kinsler getting the afternoon off, at least at the start of this one. It is the first start at second base this season for Andrew Romine. He had several starts at second base last year when he was playing for the Los Angeles Angels.
Leadoff man on here for the Astros. That'll bring up George Springer.
Hopefully the fact that Drew Smyly is left-handed will slow Altuve down, who has stolen 4 bases in the first 2 games of the series.
Springer looks at a ball high. 2 out of 8 in this series. Altuve has swiped 34 this year. He's been caught only 3 times all season.
As a matter of fact, he has 3 consecutive games where he has stolen 2 bases.
In there for a strike, 1-1 on Springer. .15 homers on the year, 40 driven in for George Springer. Minor League Player of the Year last year in all of baseball. What a season he put up, and here he is in the big league. Springer waiting on a 1-1. And he's got it picked off. Cabrera, quick throw. And Altuve's in there. Another stolen base.
And Drew Smyly picks him off. Miggy meets the ball halfway. He fires the ball down to second base. Looked like the shortstop Suarez a little tardy getting there, trying to apply the tag at the same time that Altuve got there, in the ball, he never caught it.
Now a chance for Springer to drive in a run. And he drives this one down the left field line. He will do just that. Altuve will round third and score with ease. Springer is on his way to second. He pulls in with an RBI double. And the Astros come out swinging the bats early against Smyly.
And George Springer has had some success against Drew Smyly. He hit his first career home run at Comerica Park against Smyly. That was a fastball away. And at that time, he gets a breaking ball and rips it down in the left field corner. Altuve able to score rather easily.
Here's John Singleton. 2 batters into this game, a couple of hits, a steal, and a run. So the inability of throwing Altuve out at second after they had him picked off, allowing the Astros to set up a run scoring opportunity.
3rd consecutive game that the Houston Astros have scored a run in the very first inning.
Singleton swings and misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. The big first baseman 1 for 8 in the series. He has struck out 4 times in the series, though.
He'll be challenged today. Drew Smyly is lethal against left-handed batters. They come in with a 143 batting average against Drew.
Up and in. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Standing him up with a real good fastball inside. Now he can go a couple of different ways. He can come back inside with a fastball or soft breaking ball away from John Singleton.
Altuve holding his left hand. There's a swing and a miss.
Dragging his left hand, but he's limping. That's why they tell you when you slide, it's very difficult not to put that hand down. And a lot of times you sprain your wrist by jarring that hand on the ground as you're sliding. That's why guys like Rajai Davis wear that mitt.
Swing and a miss. Singleton goes down.
It's also why guys will carry their batting gloves in their hand. You'll watch guys running from first base, and they will have their batting gloves in their hand for this very reason. You don't want to sprain your wrist by jarring it on the ground.
So here is Jesus Guzman now with the run in, runner at second base. Quick start for the Astros today. Single, steal, double, and it's 1-0. Guzman back in the lineup today. The designated hitter batting cleanup for Bo Porter. A couple of home runs this year for Guzman. And he looks at ball 1 outside. .213 batting average. He's hit safely in his last 5. Guzman, now that Singleton has joined the team up from the minor leagues, has seen his playing time cut. He was for a lot of the time their first baseman. Here's the 1-0. Runner goes to third. Here comes no play. Ziva held it up, and Springer swipes third. Astros continue to run.
It's only the 2nd stolen base of the season for Springer.
Infield coming in now for the Tigers. And Smyly will pitch from the windup. Guzman looks at a ball low. So Drew now has gone 3 balls and no strikes. It's been a bumpy start for the Tigers lefty. Green lighting on 3-0, and he pops it up. That'll get back out of play down the right field line. 3 balls, 1 strike. Astros came into the series and this game dead last in team offense in terms of batting average. But they have found a way to manufacture a run here, and maybe more. We'll see. Trying to get Springer in from third. Three balls, 2 strikes. Waiting on deck, Matt Dominguez. Astros came in batting .234 as a club. Another foul back out of play. Tigers conversely came in leading the American League. 3-2 on Jesus Guzman. Pulled fair down the third base line. That'll get another run in. He'll pull in with a single. Guzman has scored the second run of the game, and it's 2-0 Astros.
A couple of breaking balls left up. One to Springer, that one to Guzman. The result, a couple of RBIs for both gentlemen. And Drew's going to have to concentrate on getting the breaking ball down in the strike zone.
We'll bring an early visit out to the mound. Jeff Jones coming out to have a chat with Drew Smyly. The Astros got off to a 2-0 lead in yesterday's game, but then didn't score again until the 9th inning.
Yeah, Max Scherzer had to make an adjustment after his very first inning yesterday. He went on to strike out 13 Houston Astros in the 7 innings that he pitched. And there's no doubt that Drew has to make an adjustment as well with his breaking ball. He must get it down.
So still only 1 out, 2 runs in. Here is Matt Dominguez, the Astros third baseman. 2 runs on 3 hits in the inning for the Astros. Dominguez hitless in the series and in the middle of a really bad stretch. And he sends a ground ball into left, base hit. They're hitting him down the line. They're finding holes. That is the 4th hit in this inning now for Houston. 2 on, 1 out. And we'll bring up the left fielder L.J. Hose. The only out in the inning was the left-handed batting Singleton, who struck out swinging. Hose 1 for 7 in the series, batting a .195. And it bounces in. Avila able to block it. Now they're going to go to third base. For the Astros, Guzman just took off the third. They continue to run.
Well, it's a breaking ball down that Avila's able to block, but he couldn't find it, and while he was looking for it, Guzman takes off for third base. Dominguez, however, who was on first base, did not go to second, which means the double play is still in order for Drew Smyly.
First and third for L.J. Hose. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Had a whole lot happen in this inning already, and of course it all started with a single and a steal from Jose Altuve. To right field, slicing, Hunter on the run. Runner tagging, Guzman trying to score. Torrey's throw is high. Set fly and an RBI for Hose, and it's 3-0 Houston. Guzman taking third base turns out to be a huge play. Well, it's the Astros with all smiles early in this game.
Wasn't hit very deep, but the fact that Torrey Hunter was running full speed toward the line, and he couldn't really get anything on his throw. Sac fly for L.J. Hose.
It'll be his 7th RBI of the season. Dominguez remains at first base. Here is the 7th man to bat in the inning, Jonathan Villar. He tried the appeal to see if he left too soon. Negative. Gary Cederstrom said that he did not go. Villar hitting .203. in there for a strike. I guess when you look at this inning, Rod, this is exactly how the Astros have to try and score runs. They've been very aggressive on the base paths.
Yeah, they don't have big boppers in the middle of their order. They're not going to get many three-run homers. They're not going to hit many two-run homers. So they have to manufacture runs by being aggressive. And their manager, Bo Porter, putting on hit and runs, getting the defenders to move around. They have to be very creative.
Meanwhile, VR has fallen behind in the count. No balls, 2 strikes.
Looked like Bo Porter just told him that look for a curveball. Which is odd that you would tell your hitter that, because you have 2 strikes. If he throws you a curveball, obviously you could hit that, but if he throws you a fastball right down the middle, you're going to take that for strike 3.
Swing and a miss.
There's that fastball. He's tardy on it.
Well, the inning finally comes to an end. A couple of strikeouts for Smiley, but they get 3.
Brilliant game yesterday with a total of 13 strikeouts, but he didn't get off to a very good start. He gave up 2 runs in the first inning. All 3 hits he gave up were on off-speed pitches. So he was met on the top step when he got back to the dugout. He and Jeff Jones discussed what the Houston Astros were doing, and he came back out, and he threw a lot of fastballs, mid-90s fastball all day. Then he got good separation with his breaking ball, and he went on to pitch one of his best games as a Tiger.
Well, we'll see if the Tigers now can respond. There are the numbers on Scherzer. 13 strikeouts in yesterday's game. What a response that he had. And Smiley now will try and regather himself.
It's really encouraging to see Max really get back to his fastball. I mean, that's the pitch that he's known for, his fastball. And he threw a lot of good fastballs yesterday.
Victor Martinez leads it off. It'll be Martinez, J.D. Martinez, and then Nick Castellanos. 323 right now for Victor, and that's even after an 0 for 9 so far in the series. And Martinez looks at a strike. So Feldman quickly ahead 0-2. Feldman had a 1-2-3 first inning. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Down goes Victor Martinez. Feldman has his second strikeout. Time now for our predictions for today's Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game, presented by McDonald's Frozen Strawberry Lemonade. I'll go with Drew Smiley despite the rough start today.
I've got the big fella today with a big moment.
And Trevor Thompson has Nick Castellanos this afternoon. Speaking of which, here he is. Our check at J.D. Martinez next. There's Nick on deck. You fooled me there. J.D. at 311. And he looks at one right down the middle of the plate. Feldman has retired 4 straight. Martinez 9 home runs, 7 in the month of June. So the June totals have been off the charts for a guy that started the season in the minor leagues. And really, even when he got to the big leagues, saw sporadic playing time.
He's kind of bullied his way into the starting lineup.
That he has. Feldman ready with the 0-2. Ball high. 1 ball, 2 strikes on J.D. Martinez.
I found it quite comical last night. I picked J.D. Martinez to Mike McDonald's player of the game yesterday, and he apologized to me last night for not doing anything in the game. He said he went back to watch some of his at-bats, and he saw that I had picked him, so he simply, in a very kind way, apologized for that.
Well, maybe he'll make up for it here today, even though he selected Cabrera. 2-2 the count. And he shoots one to right, base hit.
Nice piece of hitting there by J.D. Martinez, pulling his hands in nicely.
Tigers have their first hit. It's a 1-out single by J.D.
With 2 strikes, you want to get jammed. You don't want to get out there too aggressively, but just take a look at the direction that he takes with his hands, which allows him to barrel up that cut fastball and whistle it in the opposite direction. He is on to something with his retooled swing.
Here is Castellanos, who is 2 for 7 in the series, including a home run. There's a strike call. Feldman with the 0-1. Breaking ball, grounded foul. No balls, 2 strikes.
Feldman is pitching with a very, very heavy heart this year. His dad passed away on April 9th. He made his start 2 days later on April 11th. His dad passed away of brain cancer. He and his dad were very, very close, and Scott said his dad would have wanted him to go out and pitch that day.
Bouncing ball to third, deep behind the bag. Dominguez going to go to second. That's all they did as Altuve leaps over the runner sliding in.
Anyone who's lost a dad, you know the relationship you have, especially if you're a son and your dad's there every step of the way while you go through Little League, Pony League, high school. But he simply said his dad would have wanted him to go out and pitch.
Well, Max Scherzer went through that a couple of years ago when his brother passed away in the middle of the season, and Max went out there and continued his year.
Max has been a different pitcher since the day he took that ball in Pittsburgh after his brother passed away.
Here's Avila now with 2 outs. Alex at .230 on the season.
Aggressive slide by J.D. Martinez down at second base. Altuve simply jumped over him, and by jumping over him on the aggressive slide, could not complete the double play. Altuve said a couple of days ago J.D. Martinez, one of his best friends in baseball.
There's the strike call. That changes, though, between the white lines. J.D. was out there to take him out of the play and make sure that they couldn't turn 2.
Yeah, J.D. wants to stay here a while, and he wants to play in the big leagues for a long, long time. That's just the way you play the game.
1-1 on Avila. A little outside, 2 balls, 1 strike.
And just to tie a bow on that story about Feldman, that start he made on the 11th of April was against his former team, the Texas Rangers, and he went on to pitch 7 scoreless innings in that contest.
Feldman spending the good majority of his career with the Rangers, 8 seasons, as a matter of fact. In fact, he won 17 games one year with them. Avila checked his swing. It's a strike call.
I think sometimes it gets lost that even though these guys perform at a very high level, they still go through some of the same things that most people go through in life and still have to go out and perform.
Now the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Feel it down on strikes. That'll be the third strikeout of the day for Scott Feldman. Tigers getting it. Strand a man on to the bottom of the second.
At Minute Maid Park, it was Ian Kinsler who stepped up very late in the game. Big home run to left field. It was a 3-run shot. Tigers went on to win the game, and it caused us a flashback to 2005, Game 4 of the NLDS. Brad Ausmus hit a big home run here in the 9th inning to tie the score. The Houston Astros went on to win the game in 18 innings, but those balls hit in nearly identical spots in the outfield.
And you notice they painted the wall green out there, so it's easier to tell if the ball was above or below the line. It used to be that beige color out there, but yeah, nearly identical, which caused Brad to flash back a little bit, back to maybe his greatest memory here in Houston, and believe me, he's had a lot of memories. Smiley goes back to work.
They love him here in Houston. Yeah, he could not find, nor did you expect to find, one person to say anything negative about Brad Ausmus.
Carlos Corcoran leading it off, and he looks at a ball outside. And it'll go 2-0 now on Corcoran. We'll be joined by Brad and ask him a couple of questions. We'll be playing the third. He's agreed to join us for a little bit. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Missing high. 3 balls, no strikes. Corcoran, Presley, and Altuve as we play here in the second. The Astros scored 3 in the first inning. They were very aggressive. That's in for a strike. 3-1 on Corcoran starting in this game. Castro started the first 2. Now Drew with the 3-1 pitch. Foul straight back, 3-2. Waiting on deck, Alex Presley, and then Altuve. Presley had a big knock for them yesterday. In fact, had a couple of hits. Here's the 3-2. Pull down the left field line, base hit. Corcoran with a leadoff single. The Astros starting the second like they began the first. Houston piling up the hits early in this game.
Drew Smyly not very good so far here today with first pitch strikes. He is just 2 of 8. And that's why he has to basically split the middle of the plate with a lot of his fastballs, because he has fallen behind a lot of the hitters that have come to the dish already.
Here's Presley. That's it for a strike. Presley was able to get the party started for the Astros with a 2-run single in the first inning yesterday. Then he homered off Joe Nathan in the 9th, a solo shot. The Tigers, though, had built a 2-run lead, so they were able to weather that homer. And he didn't hit too many. That home run for Presley was just his 4th. Presley able to play center field again in this one today. Dexter Fowler is still out. He's missed the first 2 games of the series with back tightness, so they've had to do without him. 1-1, sails high, 2 balls, 1 strike.
He got a hanging slider from Joe Nathan and simply barreled it up for his 4th homer of the year.
That home run led off the 9th inning, but then Nathan got the final 3 outs. A pop up, a strikeout, and a flyout. It's fouled away. 3 runs on 5 hits in this inning for the Astros. No runs, 1 hit for the Tigers. 5 hits in the game, I should say. They've added another in this inning. But the Astros in that first stole a couple of bases. They had a runner advance in a wild pitch. Bouncing ball to first. Cabrera tags the bag 1. Tag play at second for the double play. Two gone.
And nice job here by Miggy, simply tagging the bag with the right foot and throwing the ball high enough to throw it over the head of Corcoran to give Suarez an easy opportunity of applying the tag.
It's going to break up Altuve. Single, steal, and a run scored. They actually had Altuve picked off in the first inning, but they couldn't throw him out at second. 1 ball, 1 strike. That'll give Altuve now 7 hits in 10 at bats in this series. Lifted down the right field line, foul. Straight games now for Altuve with 2 stolen bases. Last time somebody did that, B.J. Upton of the Rays back in 2009. That's lifted towards shallow left, and it's going to drop. Skid to the gap. Altuve will pull in, and he's aboard with just another hit. Six straight games now with at least 1 stolen base for Altuve. That's a record. They've been running wild in this series. It's almost like he doesn't laugh, he giggles.
He's having a lot of fun playing the game right now. I mean, to do what he has done against a pitching staff that came in somewhat hot. I mean, we gave you some numbers at the top of the show at what the Tigers starters have been doing at limiting the damage done against them, and Altuve, all of 5 feet 5 inches, has worn them out.
He is now 8 for 11 in the series.
After the pitch, we'll show you 3 things you need to know about Jose Altuve, as you need to know more about him.
Ball low. Well, what do you got?
He signed with the Houston Astros at age 16.
Second youngest Houston player selected to an All-Star game. 22 years old. Cesar Cedeno was 21, and that was back in '72. Usually strike called on Springer.
It's not unusual for maybe 4, 5, 6 years ago. A lot of the players that came from Venezuela, Dominican, they signed as free agents, and most of them were 16 years old. Now they have the draft, so they are part of the draft now.
Foul straight back. Springer had a rip. He had himself an RBI double back in the first inning and then stole a base of his own. Springer's RBI in the first inning was his 41st, and that's a team high. Three runs on 6 hits now for the Astros. They scored all 3 of their runs in the first. Way outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tigers a chance to win 8 out of 9 on this road trip with a victory here today. They'll have to come back to do it. But it would put a bow on a terrific trip away from Comerica Park. They'll return back home. Mostly home games leading up to the All-Star break. All but 4 will be at home. Two balls, 2 strikes. Springer played his college ball at UConn. Take a look at the road trip numbers. 7-1 on the trip. 303 batting average.
Starters earned run average 206 in the first 8 games of the road trip. 338 with runners in scoring position are the hitters.
Runner goes, and it's fouled back. Man, Springer continues to take that big rip. Two balls, 2 strikes. Here he goes again. Here comes Avila's throw. It's going to bounce in, and Altuve has yet another 2 stolen base game. I mean, that's incredible. That's 4 in a row now.
Even though Smiley is a left-hander, he is getting such a great jump against Smiley that Avila has had no chance whatsoever at throwing him out. Huge jump.
So with 2 more today, that gives him 36 for the season. And yes, he's been caught only 3 times still. He got himself in a scoring position. Springer fouls it away again. Six in the series and 4 in a row with at least 2. Starting to run away from the pack, literally, in terms of the stolen base leaders in the American League. There's ball 4, and that'll put 2 men aboard now. with 2 outs. And Springer on base for the second time.
Not a bad walk there by Smiley, especially against a guy that has somewhat had his number. We told you earlier that Springer has already homered in his career against Smiley, and he doubled back in the first inning. And a left-hander now coming up, Singleton has already punched out in the game.
So a lot of pitches thrown early in this game, mid-20s in the first 2 innings now for Smiley. Singleton did not look awfully comfortable against Smiley in that first inning strikeout. Oh, 0-1.
Another reason why Drew Smiley simply allowed Springer to go down to first base after the Altuve steal. And left-handers have had very little success against Drew this season.
.43. Singleton now has 5 strikeouts in the series. He punched out 3 times in the ball game yesterday. He is now 1 for 9 in the series.
He's going to have to cut his swing down a little bit. He takes a huge swing just like George Springer.
And Smiley now has gotten ahead 0-2. Jeff Jones has seen some early struggles here from Smiley. They got 3 against him in the first inning. And they're threatening now with 2 outs here in the second. Checked it, strike 3 called. So Smiley comes back to strike out Singleton on 3 pitches, ending the threat, and they will strand a pair as we go to the 3rd Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. Nothing in favor of Houston. They out-hit the Tigers 6-1 as we check out what's going on around the rest of the major leagues. Bryce Harper hit 3 home runs last night in Double-A's. He continues his comeback from a thumb problem. You see the home run that Mike Napoli hit last night?
Hit it off Masahiro Tanaka, a sensation from Japan.
And the A's have lost Josh Reddick. He is on the disabled list with a knee problem, although he was not really performing all that well this year for the swinging A's. Here are the Tigers now as we go to the top of the 3rd. Eugenio Suarez, followed by Andrew Romine and then Austin Jackson. Scott Feldman, the right-hander, goes back to work. And Suarez takes a ball and run the count to 1-1. And pretty good series here for Suarez, 4 for 7. Had a nice game yesterday. He drives this one in the air to right center field. Presley going back all the way to the warning track. 1 gone. Long, loud out. And we'll bring up Romine. It is really tough to take Ian Kinsler out of the lineup these days, but Brad Ausmus wanted to get him a day off before the All-Star break, and today is the day. So Romine fills in at second base. Andrew has not played a whole lot with the arrival of Suarez. In fact, his last start was last Sunday in Cleveland.
You have to find a way to get your role players in a game, though, because you're going to call upon them in a crucial situation, and you want to make sure that you give them the best opportunity to perform. That's why you have to find a spot to get them in.
Romine slices a base hit to left. So the Tigers get a man on here with one out.
Real nice at bat by Andrew Romine, not trying to do a whole lot, just simply trying to stay on the baseball and drive it the opposite way. And it does help that he got himself in a fastball friendly count. Austin taking a peek down at Dominguez, the third baseman. See if he's entertaining the thought of bunting for a hit.
Ball one away to Jackson, who struck out back in the first inning. That started the ball game. If you tuned in a bit late, Brad Ausmus said that Jackson getting the leadoff start here today to try and get him going. He has batted lower in the lineup. In fact, he's batted everywhere from 5th to 6th to 7th. Also batted second. And back in his familiar spot of the last few years, the leadoff today. .277 career in the leadoff spot. Getting his bat going would certainly kickstart this Tigers offense with his speed on the bases. And he'll get fouled down the right field line. 2 balls and 1 strike on Jackson. Feldman ready with a 2-1. Instead, he'll go back to the bag where Romine dives back in. Andrew has stolen a few this year, 4 out of 5 to be exact. Here's a bunt down the third base line, but it's going to go foul. That'll even it up now. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Jackson, who took a shot, but he couldn't keep it between the white lines.
Dominguez plays a very deep third base. And Brian Holiday bunted for a base hit last night. And we've seen several other guys attempt to bunt in that direction, just as Jackson did.
Just never really has been a big part of his game, though, has it?
No, it hasn't. But if it's something that he could do now, I mean, Jackson still has a lot of really good baseball left in him. Not too late to learn that.
Big jump, runner goes, throw down to second is high, and a steal for Romine, a strikeout for Jackson.
And the reason why the Tigers gambled there with Jackson in the batter's box is the fact that Feldman throws a lot of breaking balls when he does fall behind or when he's ahead in the count with 2 strikes. Therefore, he did throw the ball in. Easy steal for Romine.
According to the numbers, Feldman has thrown the 4th highest percentage of curveballs in the majors. He's at just about 29%.
It's a good pitch for him. He gets lots of swings and misses on it. We talked about the fact that he stands about 6 feet 7 inches.
But opponents are batting .299 against that breaking ball. There's Torrey Hunter. And that's in for a strike. Torrey popped up in his first at bat. Tigers trying to get a run in here with 2 outs. They're down 3-0. They've got a man in scoring position for the first time in this game. And Hunter shoots one down the left field line. That'll get the run in. All the way to the wall. Torrey has extra bases. Romine scores. And Hunter makes it 3-1. Two-bagger for Torrey and his 38th RBI.
And second time around for the Tigers. Hopefully they can figure out whatever it was that Feldman was doing. There's that breaking ball at the bottom of the zone that Torrey goes down to get to drive in Andrew Romine.
Third hit of the game for the Tigers, and now they're one swing away with Cabrera coming up to tying this game. Miggy flied out to right field his first time, hit a line drive to the gap that Springer ran down. Ball one outside. So Cabrera now is 0 for 10 in the series. Feldman again staying away, and again he missed, so the count goes to 2-0. Miguel still the best in the American League with men in scoring position. He came in at .372. Foul straight back, had a rip there on 2-0.
Miggy has had very little success at reaching base safely in the series, but he has hit some balls hard. His last time up, he lined out to the right fielder Springer, and he's also made a couple of loud outs to the left side of the infield where they've made some good plays.
Runner going to third, and Cabrera swings right through it. Torrey Hunter just took off for third base with no throw.
And apparently Scott Feldman not paying any attention to Torrey Hunter, nor are the middle infielders VR and Altuve.
Second steal of the year for Torrey. Here's the 2-2 on the right field line. That'll get fouled. So the Tigers now have their second run just 90 feet away. Corcoran out there to have a quick chat with Feldman. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Cabrera takes low. Now it's 3-2. Victor Martinez waiting on deck for the Tigers. The inning started, or the threat at least, with a single by Romine with 1 out. Jackson struck out. Double by Hunter, driving in a run. Bouncing ball to third base. On the charge, Dominguez. And they'll throw out Cabrera to end the inning. Tigers settle for 1 run, and the RBI double by Hunter. Go to the bottom of the third. Through a couple of innings in this ball game, and really in this series, these Astros have been tough to slow down.
Yeah, they've been a little pesky. I think you know, the way Altuve swing the bat, he's always on base. He's capable of stealing, obviously, putting himself in scoring position, and then they, you know, in the first inning they got some hits behind him, so it didn't really matter. But he's been a little bit of a pain in the butt for us.
Hey, Brad, I know it's very difficult for you to take a player out like Ian Kinsler, but it's a must for you as a manager to make sure you keep guys like Andrew Romine and some of the other guys fresh, isn't it?
It is, and you keep Kinsler a little bit fresh. I mean, he doesn't get many opportunities to not play, and when he plays hard. His body takes a toll. He swung the bat well, but in talking to him about getting a day off before the All-Star break somewhere, I talked to him after the game last night, and we just kind of came up with the thought that today would be a good day for him.
All right, Brad, we appreciate it. Good luck the rest of the day.
All right, guys.
Brad Ausmus and his thoughts as the Tigers trail 3-1. As we go to the bottom of the third, Tigers getting on the board for Drew Smyly, and now Smyly trying to slow down these Astros who've been running all day. Guzman, Dominguez, and Hose here in the third in Houston. And again, our thanks to Brad for spending a couple of minutes with us. The 1-1 pitch is lifted first base side, and Cabrera toward the railing has room. Guzman is out, one gone.
And Brad went on to say not only is it important to give the guys that play on the bench a chance to play, but very important for Kinsler. Kinsler, through Cleveland and Texas, his former team, and down here in Houston, has exerted a lot of energy. So it's a good day off for Ian Kinsler today.
I wonder how much of that has been an emotional part of this road trip for Ian.
I think a big part of it.
In the meantime, his sub, Romine, is chipped in with a hit and has scored a run. Smyly gets ahead of Matt Dominguez, who singled back in the first inning. Ball's in the left field corner. Going to go to the wall. Dominguez is on the way to second, and he'll pull in with a double.
And for whatever reason, Smyly not able to bury that breaking ball down and in to the right-handers as he's been able to do his last 4 starts. That one stays up and it allows Dominguez to get out in front of it, and he smokes it down in the left field corner.
So the Astros with their hitting shoes out today, it's a 1-out double. That'll bring up L.J. Hose. And Dominguez has his 13th 2-bagger of the year. Houston, its 7th hit of the afternoon. In for a strike, 0-1. Hose with a sacrifice fly back in the first. That drove in his 7th run of the season. Fouled back. 0-2. Smyly beat Texas in his last start on Tuesday. Came in with a 1.44 ERA in the month of June, but the Astros jumped on him for 3 in the first inning. And now Hose will step up. Vila's still going through the series of signs, and now Hose just runs out of patience. Here's the 0-2. Drilled toward left center field. Jackson on his horse. He's not going to get this one. All the way to the wall. That'll get a run in. Hose will go to second. It's an RBI double, and the Astros get the run right back on back-to-back 2-base hits.
You got to give the Astros some credit. Every mistake that Smyly makes up in the strike zone, they have made him pay. L.J. Hose gets himself a breaking ball and rips it over the head of Jackson in center field.
Dominguez comes around to score. It's the 8th hit of the day now for the Astros, and here comes Jeff Jones again. Back up to a 3-run lead for the Stros. And now there's activity in the Detroit bullpen. Chance Smith, the right-hander, begins to warm up. The visit did not last very long. Jonathan Villar will be standing in. Tigers in this game have been out hit 8-3. Ball one outside. Still only one out in the inning, and that was Guzman, who popped up to start the frame. In there for a strike, like at the very top of the strike zone, and that's exactly what Villar thought as he steps out. Villar made a costly error, what could have been a really costly error in game one when he misplayed Cabrera's ground ball in the 8th inning. Tigers were able to tie it up with 2 outs, but then eventually lost to the Astros in extra innings. Did not play yesterday. One ball, one strike. Make it 2-1 now on Jonathan Villar. Smiley working against the bottom 3 in the lineup now. Villar, the 7-hole hitter. He struck out Villar to end the first inning. 3 punch-outs in this game for Smiley. Corcoran waiting on deck. Two and two. Way outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Gene Lamont with one hand on the telephone.
I guess the phone's working today. It was not working yesterday afternoon.
Here's the 3-2 offering. And it's low. That's going to be ball 4. And so the Astros now have 3 straight hitters reach. And Brad Ausmus has seen enough. He will go to the bullpen here. Smiley walks his second. Drew will not survive the 3rd inning today. One of those days where he just, well, he gave up 3 runs early, fell behind a lot of hitters, and now he's going to be out of the contest. He'll give up the baseball. It's a wall side windows pitch and change. We'll be back to Houston. Astros have the lead here. Chance Smith will come on in the Tigers, out of the Tigers bullpen here in the Astros third.
And Drew Smyly will not have to go very far to find out what his issues were today. It was the breaking ball that he left up. But take a look at these breaking balls in his body of work in the month of June. Everything is at the bottom of the strike zone against left-handers and right-handers. Today he hung those breaking balls and they made him play. So he doesn't have to really go think a whole lot about this outing today. Just simply get that breaking ball down in the strike zone and he can fix whatever happened this afternoon.
So Smyly is out. Chance Smith is in. Still only 1 out, and the Astros have 2 men on with a run in. And Smith will go to work against Carlos Corcoran, who fouls it back out of play.
And very important for Smith to strand those 2 base runners out there, because the Tigers offense will wake up here today against Feldman. It is capable of coming back and winning this game. And there's a lot of baseball to be played.
Hose at second, VR at first. Pickoff throw to second. And Suarez's tag is late. Corcoran had a single in his first at bat.
Smith throws a heavy sinker at about 93 to 95 miles an hour, and that's the pitch that he can get himself a ground ball, double play ball out of and get out of this inning if he locates it to Corcoran.
Here's the 0-1. Smith made a couple of stops in the minor leagues this year, Double-A Erie and Triple-A Toledo, and combining in those 2 stops had an ERA of 1.80. And while he may not have been on the radar for most Tigers fans or those that follow the team, Smith is here and gets this opportunity. Was 5-2 as well in the minors. The 1-1. There's a base hit to left. Hose on his way to third. They're going to stop him there, and the bases are loaded now for Houston. He's still only 1 out.
And Tigers playing Corcoran to pull. Suarez was basically playing right behind the second base bag, and he hit one the opposite way.
That's going to bring up Alex Presley, the number 9 hitter. Second hit of the game for Corcoran, and now 9 hits for the Houston Astros today. Tigers going to have to go deep into the bullpen this afternoon. Their starter bounced out here in the third. There's a strike called on Alex Presley, who bounced into a double play back in the second. The Tigers could desperately use one of those here. 3 RBIs in the series for Presley. Former Pirate turned Twin, and now with the Astros. The 0-1 sails inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. So they're loaded up for the Astros. LJ Hose doubled in a run. He's at third. VR walked. He's at second. And Carlos Corcoran is at first base. Way inside. 2-1 the count. And now Smith has gone to 3-1, and that's danger time here with the bases loaded. Only 1 away. You don't want to face that guy, and Altuve is waiting on deck. Smith would need a double play to get out of this inning and not face Altuve. 3-1. Bouncing ball towards short. They're going to come home with it, and they get the force. Quick throw back to third. Got him, another play.
Real nice play by Avila.
Suarez charged that ball and came home with it to get one, and Avila quickly threw to Castellanos. And the Tigers turn a very unorthodox double play, but they get it nonetheless. And the Astros have to settle for one run here in the third. They had the bases loaded, one out, and a key twin killing for Detroit.
Play to get out of that third, and a nice play by Suarez. First of all, getting the ball to Avila. Nice firm throw. Avila stretching out like a first baseman. Then he noticed when Jonathan Villar had rounded the bag too far, alertly fires back to Castellanos to get the unconventional 6-2-2-5 double play.
Is that what it was?
That's what it turns out to be, doesn't it?
Yeah, let's see, 6-2. Yeah, you're right. Well, 6-2-5 technically. You don't see it very often, but you know what? A double play is a double play with the bases loaded. Who cares?
So Avila gets no assist for the 2-5?
Well, let's see. The play did stop, right? Because they got the force. That was it. No, you're right. It must be 6-2-2-5.
I don't know for sure if I'm right, but
well,
I'm thinking I am.
You bring up a good point because Avila didn't immediately throw. Look at this. He's going to beat the shift. And a little seeing-eyed single in the left. So Martinez breaks an 0 for 10 in this series with a little dribbler to left field.
He hadn't gotten many hits, but sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and be Mart lucky in this particular situation. That could lead to a big inning.
Well, here is J.D. Martinez now, who's singled back in the second. The Tigers have gotten the leadoff man on for the first time in this game. We'll see if they can capitalize. Feldman brings it home and throws a strike on J.D. Martinez a single with one out in the second, but the Tigers couldn't do anything about it. Here's the 0-1. 1 and 1 strike. Mentioned Feldman had a really big year with Texas. That was back in 2009 when he won 17 ball games that year for the Rangers. That was clearly and by far his best year with Texas. He has postseason experience with them as well.
They identified him very early in the offseason as a free agent. Not only a guy that could come in and be their opening day starter, but also someone that would be willing to teach the young pitchers that they have on their staff. And they say that he has been outstanding at that.
That'll bounce in. 2-2 the count.
They've got a lot of veteran pitchers. They've got Scott Feldman. They've got Chad Qualls. They have Jose Veras, but they really don't have a veteran offensive presence, someone that the young offensive players can go to.
Boy, they have a lot of young talents. At least a couple of them up now with the big club and some down on the farm. Springer, Singleton have made it to the big leagues. There's the hook, and it's driven in the air to right. Springer going back to the track in front of the wall to make the catch. Boy, J.D. lifted on that one, but he fell just a tad short.
It appeared that he had in the back of the mind that he was going to get that breaking ball from Feldman, and we've seen him go in that direction for a home run a couple of times this year. He just missed this.
It's going to bring up Nick Castellanos. Reaching on a fielder's choice in his last at bat. And Nick looks at a ball away, 1-0. Tigers got their only run on a double by Torrey Hunter back in the third. It knocked in Andrew Romine. Fouled away. Feldman ready with the 1-1 pitch. In there for a strike. 1-2 on Castellanos. Breaking ball is rolled toward third. That is going to be a foul ball. 1-2 the count stays on Nick. Alex Avila waiting on deck. Tigers fell behind early in this one. Drew Smyly was bounced in the third and gave up 3 runs in the first inning. Here's the 1-2. Bouncer right back up the middle. Altuve has it there, tags the bag one, and a double play. Inning over. So the Tigers hit into one of their own. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Here in Houston, the Astros continue to lead this one. Final game in the series. Tigers down by 3.
Very few leadoff hitters can come in and dominate the opposition the way that Altuve has in this particular series against a pretty good pitching staff. He's a 8 of 11 as far as swinging the stick. He has stolen 6 bases in the 3 games that they have played, and obviously when you're stealing that many bases, you're going to touch home plate quite a bit. Usually you talk about the big boys in the middle of the order changing the game, but Altuve has been a difference maker here in the first couple of games of the series.
Tigers just have not been able to get him out or throw him out. Either or. He has been very difficult to deal with, and he will start things off here in the 4th. Altuve, Springer, Singleton, top 3. Look out. Ooh, they're going to brush him back out of there.
Well, you got to make him uncomfortable.
Yes, exactly. I mean, the guy's had 8 hits in the series.
And he's not trying to hit him. He's just trying to move his feet, trying to make him uncomfortable.
One ball, one strike on Altuve. Smith came on in the 3rd inning, gave up a single, but then got that odd double play, which ended the frame. Bo Porter doing some teaching right now. There's a ball high.
Bo Porter has to do a lot of that, and with a very young team.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. Rolled foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Altuve.
He's trying to decide what he was talking about. Was that Jonathan VR?
Yes.
It didn't appear that he was talking about the ball that Avila threw down to third base. It looked like he was talking about something else.
Was he talking defense with him?
I'm not sure.
2-2 on Altuve. In the shallow center field, Jackson coming on, and they will retire Altuve. That has not happened very often in this series. 1 out here in the 4th, and just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game. It is brought to you as always by Miller Lite. Here's George Springer. Been on base twice in this game, double RBI and a walk. He's also stolen a bag and scored a run. Mentioning earlier that Springer played his college ball at UConn. There aren't many that come from Connecticut and get to the big leagues. This guy's a special talent, though. In fact, he is a former first-round pick just a couple of years ago. Went 11th overall in the draft in 2011, and he is the highest drafted player ever from UConn. Played a lot of soccer as a kid, even in high school, and in fact, as a youngster, was involved a lot in gymnastics. He nubs this one back to the mound. Barehanded play. Smith, who handles it nicely and throws him out. And there are 2 gone.
Nice job by Chad, bouncing off the mound, barehanding that ball, stepping toward first base and giving McGill a good firm throw.
And bring up Singleton.
Guys that grow up in the East Coast, they're at a disadvantage as far as baseball is concerned. And when they start their seasons, they're practicing in the gym. And then in college, I guess you have to go down to Florida to play in a little warm weather during spring break. So they take care of your spring breaks, too.
Practicing in the gym is not quite the same as practicing outdoors.
No, it's not.
But you really have no choice.
That's why guys like Mike Trout, I mean, they last until, the 20th round because a lot of scouts just don't see guys like that all that often.
I mentioned Springer played a couple of different sports. Soccer, good for agility, and gymnastics, good for flexibility. There's a ball outside.
Sound like his mom and dad was trying to keep him off the streets.
Keep him busy.
No doubt. Between school and baseball and soccer and gymnastics. No time for girls or none of that stuff.
2-0 on Singleton, who's had a rough afternoon. A couple of strikeouts. Those at bats, though, against the lefty Smiley. Here's the 2-0. Let it all hang out there. 2-1.
Once he shortens up his swing a little bit and learns that he does not have to try to generate all the power, especially when a guy is throwing 95 miles an hour like Smith does, he's going to be a better player. Obviously, they've identified him as piece of their future. They gave him a 5-year contract before he played his first game in the big leagues.
Another rip and a miss. 2-2 the count.
That's what I was talking about. The Tigers have a lot of veteran players. Guys like Castellanos can go to them, and any of the other young players can go to some of the other guys to talk to them about their game. They don't always have to go to the coaching staff. The Astros really don't have veteran players like that for guys like Springer and Singleton to go to.
Is it more comfortable sometimes for players to go to another player?
Especially because after the game, I mean, it's not so much during the game, but after the game, you can go out and have a nice beverage together and enjoy a really nice dinner, and you can talk amongst your peers. You're not always hearing it from a coach.
2-2 on Singleton. Fouls another one away. Singleton was in the Phillies organization. That's the system he came up in, and then of course came over in a trade and quickly became one of the best prospects that the Astros had. But over with the Phillies, they had just locked up Ryan Howard, and he had signed a long-term deal, so they felt that they might be able to trade him, and they did. Hunter Pence is the deal that he was involved in. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. He strikes out for the 3rd time today, for the 7th time in the series. Chance Smith, 1, 2, 3, 4. Baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by the new Chevy Silverado light duty and heavy duty lineup, and by Deliver Us from Evil in theaters July the 2nd. Nachos, anyone? Well, they load them up here. They don't mess around here in Texas. A little cheese, a little chili.
You can get some meat on those too if you want.
I want, anything you want to throw on there, I'm good with it. Got to have a couple of jalapenos, though. Here's Alex Avila to start things off. Avila, Suarez, and Romine. Bottom 3 in the lineup facing Scott Feldman, who so far has given up just 1 run. And he brings home the first down low, 1-0 on Avila. Alex struck out against Feldman. That was back in the second, 0 for 1. 4 runs on 9 hits today for the Astros. Tigers a run on 4 hits. Strike called. Feldman helped out by a double play ball back in the 4th after a leadoff single by Victor Martinez. Tigers also have an RBI double from Torrey Hunter in this game. A base hit from Romine. Swing and a miss. Feldman has appeared in the postseason. That was with Texas in 2011 when the Rangers went to the World Series. He pitched in 5 games in the World Series. Also pitched against the Tigers in the ALCS. Pitching out of the bullpen for the Rangers. There's a high drive in right field. Ball is hit well. Springer going back. That ball is off the facing of the second deck.
Look out, Alexander.
Avila with a towering home run to right field.
The previous pitch was not a really good swing taken by Avila. It was a breaking ball down by Feldman, and then he tried to sneak a fastball by Alex, and Alex wasn't having any of that. That was one of the longest home runs Avila has hit this year. He absolutely crushed this cut fastball.
Ball one high to Suarez. That'll bring the Tigers back to within 2 now. 4-2 ball game. Avila hits his 5th of the season. That's his 18th RBI as well.
And when cutters don't cut very far inside, this is what can happen because there's no depth with that particular pitch to cut fastball.
Strike called. 2-1 on Suarez. So maybe that'll inject a little life into the Tigers offense. Here's the 2-1 pitch. In the air to shallow left center. Going to be a tough play, and it's going to drop in front of L.J. Hose. It'll be a single for Suarez. First 2 Tigers reach here in the 5th inning.
You knew it was going to be trouble as soon as the ball went up because Presley, the center fielder, and also L.J. Hose, the left fielder, they play really deep, in VR, their shortstop, he was not going to get there. Great effort by Hose, the left fielder.
It's going to be the 5th hit of the series now for Suarez. There's Andrew Romine showing bunt. Romine singled, scored a run back in the 3rd.
Andrew getting the start at second base today. He played some second base last year with the Angels, also some third base and some shortstop. Versatile infielder.
Kinsler gets the afternoon off, and Romine fills in. He and the hero yesterday with his home run in the 9th inning. Kinsler 5 for 10 in the series. Again showing bunt. So at the very least today, Kinsler provides a little bit of a weapon off the bench if needed later. 3-0 the count. And he's going to lose him on 4 straight.
We just showed you the one ball that Hose did not get to today, but he did get to this one yesterday in the 7th with Kinsler batting, bases loaded. Saves the game for his squad momentarily, and the reactions were priceless after that.
But then Kinsler got him. And got the Astros more accurately with that home run in the 9th. There's a meeting on the mound right now. So they're just about to break up.
Well, obviously, it's a bunting situation. Should Brad want to bunt Jackson here, runners on first and second, that would make sure that Miguel, possibly Victor Martinez, came to the dish with runners in scoring position. But we'll see what Brad wants to do. The Astros, they believe that Jackson is bunting. He has one sack bunt this season.
And Austin shows no sign of it. Ball low and away, 1-0. Another long look at Dave Clark, who's intently looking into the Tiger dugout. Now he'll relay signals.
I like how Dave, before he even gets to his signs, he makes sure he reminds the base runners to look to see where the outfielders are and to freeze on line drives in the infield. Even though you know that stuff, you still need to be reminded of it pitch by pitch.
Nobody out, first and second. A run in on the long Avila home run. Jackson has struck out twice in this game against Feldman. Once in the first, once in the third. And he takes up and in. 2 balls and 1 strike. So the Tigers, at least to this point, electing not to bunt the runners up. They have Suarez at second, Romine at first. And now it's gone to 3-1 on Jackson. And Feldman now digging a hole here in the 5th. Bouncing ball to short. They'll go to second one, relay to first, a double play. Hard hit ball to Villar. And they turn the twin killing, 2 gone.
Great slide by Andrew Romine, but he did not phase Jose Altuve. He clipped him, but Altuve still able to complete the double play with a good throw over to Singleton. Good aggressive baseball here played by the Tigers today on double play balls.
That'll leave a runner at third down with 2 outs. And another chance for Torrey Hunter, who drove in a run with a double and 2 outs in the third. Off the end of the bat. 0-1. The ball got back into the seats quickly. Torrey making sure everyone's all right. Right behind the Houston dugout. You must read the signs. Beware of bats and balls leaving the playing field. He really can be dangerous. Low and away. So Feldman trying to pitch out of this jam here. He's gone 1-1 on Hunter. Got Cabrera waiting on deck. Low and outside again, 2-1. Swing and a miss. Two on Torrey. Hunter back on the 2 spot in this game. Brad Ausmus thinks he'll see perhaps some better pitches with Cabrera hitting behind him. That's way outside, and Suarez holds at third. Good pick up there in the backhand by Corcoran.
He saved Feldman a run.
So it's 3-2. Line drive caught. He hit it hard right at him. And so the Tigers will settle for one on this home run by Alex Avila. Man, did it go a long way. The facing of the second deck. Tigers baseball today presented by Bell Tire. As we go to the bottom of the fifth inning, time now for you to tweet your photo using hashtag #DetroitFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. Hashtag #DetroitFanPhoto. So the Astros bat here in the fifth inning. They've got Jesus Guzman to lead it off. And a strike called as Chad Smith goes back out there. Had a 1-2-3 fourth inning. Smith doing a nice job of keeping this game where it is, giving the Tigers offense a chance to perk up. Looked like they were on their way to doing that until the double play ball in the fifth inning. That has popped up. Right side of the infield, Romine to the grass. One out. Here's Matt Dominguez. Couple hits this afternoon for Dominguez, a single, a double, and a run scored. And here's a guy that came in one for his previous 34, so he is busted out of it a little bit today. Strike one. Dominguez, a first-round pick, but by different organizations. The Marlins drafted him in the first round, and that was a pick that they dealt away to the Astros for Carlos Lee back in 2012. And Dominguez initially got to the major leagues with the Marlins. One is scattered foul, back out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, Smith is giving the Tigers some innings here, and that's a good thing because Smiley was knocked out of this game in the third.
Not only is he giving them innings, but he's also keeping the Astros off the board and giving his team an opportunity to catch up.
Here's the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Meanwhile, the Royals put up 4 in the 4th inning, and they now have a 4-3 lead as Patrick McCoy begins to tune up in the Detroit bullpen. Royals leading the Angels 4-3 in the 5th. Here's the 2-2. Dominguez lines it to right field. Hunter is on his horse. He'll go back to the warning track. 2 gone. Fans, don't forget to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the 1984 championship season tomorrow night when the Tigers battle the A's at 7:08. The first 20,000 fans receive a 1984 Tigers replica road jersey. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. And relive the '84 year when the Tigers last won the World Series. Two outs now for L.J. Hose. What's your take on all these Tigers fans in this ballpark? We saw a lot of them in Arlington too.
It's impressive, but it's something that we've seen in the past. I mean, wherever the Tigers go. Lots of Tigers caps. A lot of orange. Yesterday, after that Kinsler home run, it was almost like a home game.
Yeah, it felt like it was. It was so loud in here. 1-0 on Hose. Swing and a miss.
It's one of the best things about this gig and broadcasting for great Tigers fans. And not only in Detroit, where they fill that place just about every single night during the course of the summer. But the Tigers are always well represented, and when they get away from that ballpark in Detroit.
Hose takes it low, and the count goes to 2-1. Well, Tigers among the top teams in attendance in the American League again this year, but it's real impressive what they do on the road.
Over 3 million the last couple of seasons have gone through the turnstiles at Comerica Park.
Meanwhile, Smith continues to impress here. 2-2.
He's got some real nice arm side sink to his fastball. I mean, Hose saw that ball on the inner third of the plate, started to swing, and that ball was a foot off the plate inside, and with some depth to it.
Bouncing ball to third. Castellanos backs up. And the throw is perfect and in time. It's a 1-2-3 inning, the second in a row for Smith. Jeter takes the field in his last All-Star game ever in what promises to be an emotional and unforgettable night. Special coverage begins at 4:30 on Fox Sports 1, followed by the 2014 All-Star game at 7:30 on Fox. And here are some of the leaders at first base. Well, Miguel Cabrera still leading the way.
And Jose Abreu, he will be there.
You can vote at MLB.com. Voting ends July the 3rd, so there's still some time, although time is winding down. Feldman back to work now. He's got the middle of the lineup to deal with, and Cabrera looks at a ball low and away. 1-0.
Yeah, first base, always one of those positions where there are always more guys deserving of making the All-Star team, but you can't take too many first basemen.
High fly ball, right field, hit well. Springer going back, track, wall, looks up, leaps, and makes the catch. Springer had a backpedal on that ball and had enough to stay with it.
George Springer did not take the best route to get to this ball, but he showed his athleticism once he got back to the 373 sign to take a double away from Miguel Cabrera.
Tigers in this series have hit a lot of balls to that right center field gap. That time Springer going back to haul it in. Mickey thought he had an extra base hit, maybe a home run, but it nestled into the glove of Springer. Martinez hit a little nubber off the end of the bat that beat the shift his last time up, grounding it into left field. And that was his first hit of the series. One ball, one strike on Victor.
Come on out. Right on top.
Martinez takes slow and away. 2 balls and 1 strike. I think sometimes, Rod, what makes a great hitter great is the fact that they can go through slumps like right now Cabrera and Martinez, at least when you call a series a slump. That's what it is for them. But they're able to kind of put that beside and know that coming out the next day they've got a really good chance to get a couple of hits.
They don't panic. That much is for sure.
There's a high towering drive. That one's into right center field. Presley going back to the warning track.
And both guys, they know beyond a shadow of a doubt they're going to be in the lineup the next day.
Yeah, which makes it that much easier. Well, spend Sunday night in the D when the Tigers face the Tampa Bay Rays on July 6th at 8:07. All kids 14 and under receive a Victor Martinez poster and enjoy free rides on the Comerica Park Carousel and Ferris wheel. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. You ever take a ride on the Ferris wheel?
I've never been on the Ferris wheel.
It's because it doesn't exist. Strike one called on J.D. Martinez. J.D. with a base hit in this ball game, had a single back in the second.
He just missed from hitting an opposite field home run his last time up. There's a cut fastball by Feldman at 86 miles an hour.
McCoy now has been joined by Phil Koch. That one knocked down by Corcoran. J.D. hit a ball deep to right field his last time up. Looked like it might have enough carry to get out, but it didn't. Broke his bat that time, and he banged it off his foot. Double ouch. The bat is broken, and Martinez trying to shake it off.
Man, this is a sound that a lot of pitchers just love to hear. It's a good two-seam fastball that got really all in the kitchen of J.D. Martinez.
Martinez taking his time getting his new bat, trying to shake off the pain of that last foul ball.
Now, this much we do know, that bat that he just broke was awfully good to him. He did a lot of damage with that bat he just broke.
One-two, Sales outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Castellanos waiting on deck should Martinez reach. It is 4-2 in favor of Houston. We're in the 6th.
And Feldman loves his breaking ball in 2-2 counts. If you're Martinez, you can't sit on it, but in the back of your mind.
Feldman now is over the 100 plateau. That was pitch number 101. Allowed a double to Hunter in the 5th to knock in a run, and then the long Avila home run in the 5th inning. Again, the 2-2. Ground ball, shortstop side, and the backhand there, VR. In time for the out, Feldman has a 1-2-3 6th inning. Four to 2 as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Max Scherzer had a terrific outing in yesterday's ball game, trying to pitch his way into consideration for an all-star position this year.
Here are some of the guys that more than likely will make the team. You've got Tanaka of the Yankees, Porcello most definitely with his 10 wins, Scat, Kazmir, Felix, and Burley. And the guys at the bottom are probably will make the team too.
Max Scherzer, David Price leads the league in strikeouts. Keuchel, who was supposed to pitch in this series but has some inflammation, he's not pitching. And it's a wall-side windows pitching change now. Patrick McCoy comes on.
He's been in a couple of games already with the Tigers since being recalled. Has not given up a run in 1 1/3 innings pitched. Good numbers in the minors in 22 games.
So Chad Smith goes 2 2/3 scoreless innings. Really did a fabulous job, and now he hands the baseball over to McCoy.
If the Tigers come back and win this game, it'll be a major reason at the effort that Chad Smith turned in.
Here's the 0-1. Pop up left side of the infield, and Castellanos will make the catch. One gone in the 6th inning. Bring up Carlos Corcoran. sure how many in spring training thought that at some point this season, well, maybe a few thought we might see Corey Knebel. That was legitimate, but well, Chad Smith kind of came out of nowhere, and he's really contributed. Now McCoy getting an opportunity. Blaine Hardy.
I thought maybe we'd see Blaine Hardy because they liked him so much in spring training. He was one of the final cuts this spring.
McCoy coming out of the Washington organization. Throws a strike on the outer edge. Tigers signed him as a minor league free agent last November. 7 seasons in the minors, never in the big leagues though with the Nationals.
It's nice when you do come to a new club if you have someone on that team that you played with, and that's the case with McCoy. Ian Kroll also in that Washington organization, so he has kind of taken McCoy under his wing. I talked to Ian Kroll today. He's on the disabled list with a sore shoulder. He said he threw a bullpen yesterday and said he felt great. And so more than likely all he's going to need is 2 weeks of rest on the DL.
In the air to shallow right center. And Jackson able to run it down.
Let's take a look at our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. You talked about the work that Smith turned in 2 2/3 of scoreless baseball. He's got some real nice sink with a sinker at about 93 to 95. I don't love his slider just yet. He hangs a lot of those because of the arm slot. He needs more depth with that pitch. But this pitch right here, that good two-seamer down and in to the right-handers is a plus pitch for Chad Smith.
3 up, 3 down in the 4th and 5th innings for Smith. Here's Presley now with 2 outs. Strike 1 on Presley. Swing and a miss. No balls, 2 strikes. Couple of double play balls for Presley in this game. After a 3 RBI game yesterday for Houston, the Astros raced out to a 3-0 lead, made it 4-1, and now 4-2. Avila has homered in this contest.
And that last fastball, just a show-me fastball thrown by McCoy. You would think he'd want to get back to that really good breaking ball that Presley swung and missed at.
Here's the 1-2. Little chopper back up the middle. Gonna have to hurry to get him. Suarez can't field it cleanly. And safe at first base is Presley. Well, we have a chance. Back to the studio we go. We check in with Lindsey Hayes. All right, Lindsey, thanks. Well, the Angels trying to help out the Tigers as much as they can. Here's Altuve. 2 singles, 2 steals for Altuve. 10 hits now for the Houston Astros. And Altuve now has 115 hits, which leads the major leagues. Shoots that one on the ground. Fair inside the bag. Here comes Presley to third. They're going to stop him there. And Altuve has a C9 double just inside the bag at third. 2-out, 2-base hit. 3-hit game for Altuve.
Well, every time Jose makes contact, he just finds a hole somewhere. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of tired of Jose Altuve.
Well, he found a nook and a cranny there, and I've pretty much had enough. I'm good for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
bounced over the bag at third base. 2-base hit. Now Springer will try and do some damage here with 2 outs.
They're going to put him on and go after Singleton, who's already struck out 3 times today.
That will not go over well with the fans here in Houston. There's Singleton lurking. So the intentional walk to Springer. Ball 3 missing outside. And there is ball 4. So here is Singleton with the bases loaded.
Only the second time that George Springer has been walked intentionally since coming to the big leagues.
Singleton 3 strikeouts in this game. Astros trying to build on a 4-2 lead here in the 6th. And ball 1 missing outside.
In the minors, 26 strikeouts, 8 walks for McCoy. So Brad Osmond's not afraid to load the bases here. And where he has no margin for error against John Singleton.
Missed it outside again, 2-0.
I don't necessarily know if another fastball is the pitch of choice here. If you got any confidence in your breaking ball whatsoever, you might want to throw it here to Singleton, who's got a lot of pop in that bat.
Outside, and now the count goes to 3-0. Got Jones on the phone. Here's the 3-0. 3-1 on Singleton. Jesus Guzman waiting on deck. McCoy has painted himself into a corner here. He's behind 3-1. And he walked him to drive in a run. A bases loaded walk to Singleton. Presley scores, and it's 5-2. Now Jeff Jones comes out. Singleton gets his 12th RBI. So they walked Springer intentionally, rolling the dice a bit by loading the bases, and the walk to Singleton makes it 5-2. Phil Coates still heating in the Detroit bullpen. And McCoy's still far from out of it here. Bases remain loaded. Way outside, 1-0. Smith gave the Tigers 2 2/3 scoreless baseball out of the bullpen. McCoy coming on here in the 6th with 2 outs and nobody on. An infield hit by Presley got it started. And the Altuve double, an intentional walk, and now a bases loaded walk. Down the right field line, and that'll slice back into the seats. One ball, one strike. Single RBI back in the first for Guzman. Checked it, and it's high and away. Now the count goes to 2-1. Hey, did you know it's Orbit's birthday today, Ron?
Orbit has been partying all weekend.
Has he? I hadn't noticed. Well, he's got a bunch of friends here today. A lot of other mascots are here. Mr. Met's here, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Mr. Met made the trip.
He's a big timer. Here's the 2-1. In there is strike 2-2.
Orbit got a nice seat, too.
They were also handing out antenna headbands today for the kids at Orbit Sports.
Now, some folks pay good money for them seats.
Well, they can't see right now. Swing and a miss. Ooh, that's a big strikeout there for McCoy. It's going to leave them loaded, but they get another run, and the bases loaded walk. On to the 7th. Happy birthday, Orbit. Of Houston. Join us again tomorrow. The Tigers heading home to take on the Athletics. Our coverage begins at 6 with Tigers Live. Tigers and A's tomorrow at 6 p.m. right here on Fox Sports Detroit. It'll be a 3-game series. You can see all of them against the Athletics. Night game, day game on Wednesday. And right now the Athletics a 5-game lead in the West over the Angels. Meanwhile, Feldman's still out there. He goes back to work in the 7th. Castellanos leads it off, then Avila, and then Suarez. One ball, one strike on Nick. He's got a homer in this series. Sits safely in his last 4. Swing and a miss. 2-2 on Castellanos. Double play ball and a fielder's choice for Nick. Feldman had a 1-2-3 6th. There's a line drive, base hits out of the reach of leaping Altuve.
Here's our Nissan drive of the game. Last at bat by Alex Avila. He got a cut fastball from the starter, Scott Feldman, and hit a solo shot deep into the right field stands.
They cut it to 4-2. It's now 5-2, and that appears to be it for Feldman, so he's going to depart. He will leave after 6+ innings. To a round of applause here in Houston. The Astros go to the bullpen. We'll be back. Detroit is brought to you by Arby's. Try Arby's new King's Hawaiian Roast Beef BLT today. And by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Back here in hot, steamy Houston, where the Tigers are wrapping up a 3-game series against the Astros. They trail right now 5-2. They have a man on with nobody out here in the 7th inning. The Astros have gone to the bullpen, and here's former Tiger Darren Downs.
Hey, Downs has done nice work in a Houston uniform, pitching in his 23rd game. The ERA sits at 2.45, 13 strikeouts, and 4 walks. And a fastball, cutter, curveball change thrown by Darren Downs.
Alex Avila, the first man to face him. And Downs delivers a strike. Former battery mates facing each other here. Avila hit the home run back in the 5th off Feldman. That made it 4-2 before the Astros added a run to make it 5-2. One ball, one strike.
And 107 pitches thrown by the starter Scott Feldman before he departed. He also threw 107 pitches his last time out against the Atlanta Braves. The most he's thrown this season.
Bouncing that one in. The runner does not advance. Darren Downs is the definition of perseverance. 9 full seasons in the minor leagues before he finally got his first major league opportunity. And it came with the Tigers in 2012.
He pitched well in a Tigers uniform.
He was with the Tigers in 12 and last year as well. Castellanos led off the inning with a single. That looked like a pretty close pitch, and he missed with it. 3-1 now on Avila. Clearly off the plate, though. Suarez waiting on deck. Avila takes high, and that's going to be a walk, and that's going to put 2 men aboard. So Downs came on to face the left. He was unable to get him. Now you've got 2 on with nobody out. Tying run coming to the plate here in the 7th. Suarez has had himself a nice series. 5 hits. He singled at his last at bat. Way inside, 1-0. Downs replacing Feldman, who started the inning by giving up the single to Castellanos. Popped him up. Shallow right field. Springer coming in. And the runners will hold. That's a big out for Downs. 1 gone here in the 7th. Now Romine. Single and a walk for Andrew. Romine batting right-handed against the lefty, and he looks at a strike.
I guess Brad Ausmus's determined that he's going to give Kinsler the total day off, or else he might be pinch hitting here against Downs. But he's also looking at that Houston Astros bullpen. They've got a right-hander up in that bullpen, and if Brad would pinch hit Ian, then Bo Porter no doubtedly would go to that right-hander. But right-handers, they're no problem for Ian Kinsler.
1 ball, 1 strike. Now Romine a tying run at the plate right now, but not nearly as much power as Kinsler. Andrew has 1 home run. It was his first major league home run earlier this year at Comerica Park. Jackson waiting on deck. Swing and a miss.
Good changeup there thrown by Darren Downs. Fading changeup down and away from Romine.
1-2. Tigers in this ball game have been out hit 11-7. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. Downs has his first strikeout after about some wildness. He's settled in.
And previous pitch changeup down and away. Then he came back with a cut fastball up in the strike zone that was swung right through by Andrew.
So here is Jackson. A couple of strikeouts, double play ball for Austin in this game. And his last at bat hit a sharp ground ball. The Tigers had the home run by Avila. They were climbing back into the game. 2 on, nobody out. And then Jackson hit a bullet to the shortstop VR, who turned to 6-4-3. And that took the gas out of the inning. Downs missing outside, 2-0. So Downs came on to face the lefty Avila. He ended up walking him. He has since gotten a couple of right-handers. Which is why managers always talk about the fact when your lefties in the bullpen still have to get righties out. I mean, you can't play matchups on every single batter every single night.
No, you can't. Usually you have one situational guy in your bullpen, and that situational guy usually is a left-hander that comes in and pitches in a lot of games but doesn't really log that many innings.
Strike called on Jackson. The count evens now 2-2. So now the crowd getting back into it. Austin trying to deliver a big 2-out hit here in the 7th. Castellanos and Avila, the base runners. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Jackson could not hold up. Couple of strikeouts for Downs, and the Tigers' threat fizzles here in the 7th.
And here's our Comerica Bank game summary. The Houston Astros jumped on the Tigers in the very first inning for the 3rd consecutive day. Springer doubled down the left field corner, driving in Altuve. Then L.J. Hoes, a sac fly. That was the 3rd run of the inning. Torrey Hunter got one back with a double in the left center field gap, plating Romine. One more run driven in by L.J. Hoes. That's a double in the gap. Avila got the Tigers one more back. It was a big home run to right field, and then a bases loaded walk. And plated the 6th run. That was John Singleton getting the walk there for McCord.
Yeah, that one hurt because it made it a 3-run ball game. Scored Presley on the play, and graphically here you go. Torrey Hunter, an RBI double in the 3rd. Avila's home run was his 5th. And Altuve in this series, it pretty much tells the story here. 9 for 13, 2 doubles, 6 steals. Everything we were told about Altuve is certainly true in the year he was having, and he's continued that here. As a result, 5-2 Houston as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Told you Mr. Met was here.
Mr. Met got him going, too. Now, where's Mrs. Met?
That I can't answer. There's Dinger, the Rockies mascot. I'm not sure where Mrs. Met is. Raymond,
must be a
Rays mascot.
All boys trip.
Leave the spouses at home, apparently.
Yeah.
Who's Diesel? Anybody have any idea who Diesel is? Houston Dynamo Soccer. Okay, now we're told that's Diesel. And that's Baxter of the Arizona Diamondbacks. So they're all here. Too far for Paws to travel. By the way, Paws getting ready for a big homestand too.
And Baxter traveled from the heat in Arizona to the humidity in Texas.
Here's Dominguez facing Patrick McCoy as we go to the bottom of the 7th, and he softly lines one into right field. Base hit off the end of the bat. Leadoff single for Dominguez, his 3rd hit.
Nice day for Dominguez, who really came into the series struggling, swinging that bat.
So L.J. Hose will stand in now against the lefty McCoy. L.J. sac fly plus an RBI double. A couple of runs driven in this game. 8 for the season. Was called up from AAA on Thursday. And he's provided a big diving catch in this series. A couple of RBIs today. Ball 1. Wasn't long ago that he was a prospect in the Orioles system. In fact, their minor league player of the year a couple of years ago before he was traded in the Bud Norris deal last year. Dominguez 2 singles and a double in this game. He's at first base. There is more action in the Detroit bullpen. Blaine Hardy is warming up now. They had Coke throwing previously. One ball, 1 strike. And L.J. Hose, Jonathan Villar due up next. Missed it. 2 balls, 1 strike.
If you're going to miss, if you're McCoy, you want to miss down. And by missing down, if he does decide to swing it, that'd be L.J. Hose. You possibly could get yourself a ground ball here, get a double play ball.
Ground ball. Castellanos to second. That's all they'll get. Not a double play ball. Fielder's choice. 1 on, 1 out. Here's Jonathan Villar. No hits today for Villar, but he walked in the 3rd. Bouncing ball left side. Suarez to second. There's one. Relay. And a double play. 6-4-3. That'll close out the 7th inning. On our way to the 8th in Houston. Ball game as we go to the 8th inning here in Houston, and as promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T fan photo of the ball game. Tweet your photo to #DetroitFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. And as always, our fan photo is brought to you by AT&T. So the Tigers find themselves down by 3 runs as we go to the 8th, and here is Jose Veras to take over now for the Astros.
Well, apparently Jose Veras was not available yesterday to pitch the 8th inning. That's why Bo Porter, he brought in his closer, Chad Qualls, to pitch the 8th yesterday, going up against the heart of the Tigers' batting order, Miguel Cabrera, Victor Martinez, and J.D. Martinez. Qualls was successful getting the outs in the 8th, but he had no closer. And that's when Jerome Williams came in the 9th, and he blew the save.
It was an interesting piece of strategy that Bo Porter used yesterday. He determined that, well, if you don't get to the 9th, it doesn't matter anyway if you have a closer, so he used Qualls to get the tougher outs.
At the time, I had no problem, and I still don't have a problem with the way they do things here in Houston, although they are heavy on the data as far as the numbers are concerned. But he felt like the game was on the line in the 8th inning. But very seldom do you see managers employ that kind of strategy when you do have a closer per se.
What if they had one of the elite closers in the game here? They probably wouldn't have done that.
I don't think he would have done that, but he was forced into doing it yesterday, and he said that that was the only move that he could make because he had a short bullpen.
Well, here come the Tigers now as we go to the top of the 8th inning. We'll see if they can get something started against their former teammate, Jose Veras. 5-2 Houston Astros trying to take 2 out of 3 from the Tigers.
Veras has got a good fastball, 91 to 93, on occasion 94, but he's got a real good bender.
Dropping down a bunt. Dominguez charging from third. Quick throws in time. Mantori nearly beat that out.
Perfect play by Dominguez, who used the glove. He didn't barehand it. He used the glove, flipped it to the throwing hand, and then was able to complete the play. That is a nice play by Dominguez, who's a really good defender.
Well, Torrey gave it a shot, but he comes up empty. 1 gone here in the 8th. Now Cabrera. That's what you love about Hunter, man. He has done that ever since coming to Detroit, realizing the guys that he has behind him in the lineup. Just trying to get something going, get on base, let the big guys do their job. Ooh, we hit that one straight up. A mile high into shallow left. VR waiting, and there are 2 gone. Let's check in with Trevor Thompson, who has more on Jose Veras.
Yeah, Mario, we know that the Cubs released him, and then the Astros picked him up shortly after that, and he's with 8 teams so far in his major league career. But he told me that he wants to finish his career here in Houston. He believes in the future of this ball team. He's only 33 years old, so as long as he can get outs, he's got a lot of years left in this league. He thinks this team has big things in store in the future, and he wants to be a part of it. A veteran presence in the back end of that bullpen. Back up to you.
All right, Trev, thanks. Veteran presence indeed, and that's something you touched on, rather. Just not a whole lot of that here.
They have some as far as the pitching staff is concerned. Their starter today, Feldman, also Chad Qualls, who we've talked about, and also Jose Veras, but no offensive pieces, and no veteran leadership there.
Victor straightens up on a pitch inside.
You may remember that they signed Carlos Pena last year to provide that veteran leadership from an offensive standpoint, but Carlos did not perform very well. He was let go, and we just saw Carlos. He's wearing a Texas Rangers uniform these days.
Well, Veras last year had 19 saves prior to the trade that brought him to Detroit to pitch at the back end of the Tigers bullpen. Ball missing high.
He gave up that huge grand slam to Shane Victorino. Victorino was batting right-handed because he couldn't bat left-handed, and Veras hung him a breaking ball at Fenway Park, and he hit it over the monster.
One of 2 grand slams in that series that did the Tigers in and ended their season. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Inside, and Martinez now ahead in the count. 3 balls, no strike.
That is 2 pitches. Very aggressive inside to Victor Martinez. Well off the plate, thrown by Jose Veras.
3-0. That's in for a strike. 3-1 on Victor. 2 outs here in the 8th. Tigers need a spark. They're down 5-2. Thought they had that spark on the long home run by Vito back in the 5th. They then followed that with a single and a walk, but a double play ball really took the wind out of the sails. Here's the 3-1 pitch from Veras, and it's grounded foul. 3-2 now on Victor Martinez.
And Victor may have swung at ball 4 there. And a good tailing fastball inside, but looked like he was trying to hit a home run.
And he lost him, ball 4. So 2-out walk. Victor is aboard.
Here's our high-speed pitch brought to you by Xfinity on Jose Veras. 93. And he has hit in this inning, and he's thrown a curveball at 83 miles an hour.
Tigers need one more base runner to bring the tying run to the plate with 2 outs here in the 8th. Five runs, 12 hits on the afternoon for the Astros. Tigers have 2 runs on 7 hits. Ball 1 outside. J.D. Martinez 1 for 3. 4 hits in the series, wrapping up a pretty good road trip for J.D. He's got 13 hits on this trip. Here's the 1-0. In for a strike. 1-1. Feldman started this game, gave way to Downs in the 7th, who would give up a walk, but then got 3 outs. A couple of big strikeouts, Romine and Jackson. And Alvarez here in the 8th. Stayed away and missed outside. 2-1. Here's the activity in the Tigers pen. A couple of lefties, Koch and Hardy. McCoy has already thrown in this game, so the Tigers have at least gone to or heated up every left-hander they have. They've got 3 in their bullpen.
And they started a left-hander today in Drew Smiley.
Unfortunately, Drew was knocked out in the 3rd. That's pulled on the ground. Base hit left field. 2-out rally here for the Tigers. They're going to bring the tying run to the plate. Walk and a single.
And fastball down and in that J.D. Martinez absolutely smoked between third base and shortstop.
J.D. broke his bat in his last at bat, and now he's got a knock with his new bat. Brent Strom coming out. Got the tying run coming to the plate here, and Castellanos certainly has power to hit one out.
Their pitching coach, Brent Strom, he has been in baseball a long, long time. Good man, good pitching coach.
Had some success in the major leagues. Strom pitching both in the American and National League. And right now he's just hopeful that Veras can get the final out here in the 8th. Ball 1 low.
And Corcoran went after that breaking ball like he was crossed up by Jose Veras. And now Veras, they called him out momentarily, but Corcoran, I guess he doesn't want to go out there.
Castellanos had a single in his last at bat. Tying run here in the 8th. Breaking ball bends outside, 2-0. Severus was making it look easy, but now he's kind of painted himself into some trouble here.
And he's also backed himself into a possible fastball count, that Castellanos will be licking his chops on if he gets.
Swing and a miss.
Ooh, threw him a bender.
Oh, man. He did not give in on 2-0, and Castellanos had a big rip.
It's his best pitch. I mean, his fastball's got some life, but this is the pitch that he gets most of his outs with. His curveball.
2-1. Three and 1 now on Castellanos. Alex Avila on deck. And Nick will step out. Here comes the 3-1. In there is strike 3 and 2. Fastball from Veras at 95. That'll light up the crowd a little bit. Full count. Runners will be on the move here. The biggest pitch of the game perhaps coming up. Kinsler has picked up a bat. And the 3-2. Line drive, left field, gonna get down, and it's gonna go to the corner and drive in two. Castellanos on his way to second, taking the turn. He's coming to third, and Castellanos gets in there. The cutoff was held up. It's a one-run ball game, 5-4.
I don't know what VR, their shortstop, was doing, but had he simply taken that ball on the relay from L.J. Hose and thrown it to third base, Castellanos would have been a dead duck. Let's take a look at the pitch by pitch. He falls behind Nick Castellanos. He crossed up to catcher. 2-0, a real good bender. Nice fastball here at 95 miles an hour. Then he works the count to 2-2, and he rips that breaking ball down in the corner. And watch when the ball gets into the shortstop's glove, VR. Castellanos never stopped.
This is just a bad play by VR.
It was not good base running by Castellanos either, but it worked out.
Yeah, good point. Castellanos should have been out by 3 or 4 feet.
Jose Veras got the first 2 outs of this inning on 2 pitches. Torrey Hunter on a bunt, and Miguel Cabrera popped up to the shortstop.
And now Bo Porter says, man, I got to go to the bullpen again. Avila due up here, but Kinsler has moved out from beyond the dugout.
Well, if you're Brad Ausmus here, you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that they're going to walk he and Kinsler. They're going to give him four wide ones.
Severus will leave. We'll sort it out when we come back. But it's a new ball game now.
Hitting in the state of Texas. He started it in Arlington, where he was just wearing out his former club, and now he has done the exact same thing here in the first 2 games of the Houston Astros series. 11 for 22, 500. He's getting that front foot down in a hurry. He's not popping up as much as he was 2 weeks ago. He's staying on top of the baseball. Lots of line drives, lots of ground balls, and every now and then he gets underneath one and he can find the seats. 2 home runs as well in Texas.
Well, the question is, here do they pitch to Ian Kinsler?
Well, Tony Sipp wears out left-handers, so it was a no-brainer that Avila did not hit, but his numbers are .222 against right-handers, but overall, Sipp is having a pretty good year. 27 strikeouts, just 3 walks. There's those numbers on Tony Sipp.
So we'll see if the Astros here will force the Tigers to burn Kinsler, if they pitch to him or not.
Big. Would they give Castellanos a triple on that? Do you know?
I guess they would have to, wouldn't they? I don't know. Was he mishandled in the corner?
No.
3-base hit?
Big base hit nonetheless.
I'm still pretty stunned that VR just kind of held the baseball and didn't even turn around and look at the infield.
Well, it's a mental mistake by him for sure.
So now here is Kinsler. Pinch hitting for Avila. The hero for the Tigers in the ballgame last night. 2 for 2 career against Sipp. And Ian looks at a strike 0-1.
Off-speed pitch and thrown by Sipp to get strike 1.
Now the 0-1 pitch. Kinsler waves and misses, and the count is 0-2. Tying run just 90 feet away. The Tigers got this whole thing going with a walk to Victor Martinez.
Back-to-back off-speed pitches. That's a straight changeup thrown by Sipp.
Can Kinsler come through on back-to-back days? Chad Qualls warming up. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Tony Sipp gets him on 3 pitches.
3 straight change pieces.
Inning over. The Tigers, however, get a pair. They leave the tying run at third base. We go to the bottom of the 8th. As we go to the bottom of the 8th inning here in Houston. And from now until 8 p.m. you can get upper box tickets for just $20 to see the Tigers play the A's July 1st and 2nd, or the Tampa Bay Rays on July 3rd. Offer available exclusively at Tigers.com. Only until 8 p.m. tonight, so hurry up. Enter the coupon code STRIPES. Well, Blaine Hardy now will take over for the Tigers.
And 7th game now for Hardy, who checks in with a .245 earned run average. The whip is under 1. 8 strikeouts, 3 walks. Fastball 89 to 91 with a real good curveball.
Will toward left field. That's looking like trouble, and it is up against the wall. Extra bases for Carlos Corcoran. And he'll lead things off with a double here in the 8th. Big run standing at second base.
And he tried to sneak the first pitch fastball by Corcoran, and Corcoran was waiting for him.
Marwin Gonzalez will come on a pinch run for him. Leadoff double against Blaine Hardy here in the 8th inning. Here's Alex Presley. Let's see if they try and butt him up to third. We've got Altuve waiting on deck.
If he does, it'll be the first sack bunt of the year for Presley.
Lets it go by for ball 1.
Good pitch there by Hardy, top of the zone, to see if he was bunting. If so, usually that's the pitch that you can get a pop-up on.
And it's bunted. They'll get the job done. Throw to first. Presley bunts him up. Gonzalez to third with 1 out. And if you're the Astros, exactly the guy you want up in this situation. Jose Altuve.
They might put him on. Go for a double play.
Infield coming in.
I know he doesn't get walked intentionally all that often, but he's done a lot of damage in this series.
To be sure, 3 more hits in this game, 9 hits in the series for Altuve. Ball 1. And 2 more steals today for Altuve as well. He has 36 on the year. That's inside. 2 balls, no strikes.
Altuve has worked on his plate discipline this year, not leaving the strike zone as frequently as he did last year. He's a good bad ball hitter, and if you throw him something close, he'll try to drive the run in, even if it's not a really good pitch to hit. It looks like they're just kind of walking him, but intentional pass here.
The only big difference is that Holiday's not standing up with his arm out to his right. 3-0. He's swinging and he pops it in the air, shallow left field.
Thank you.
Wow. And he'll fire it back in, but Gonzalez will hold. Boy, that's a big break for the Tigers.
Unselfish. I mean, very selfish at bat there by Altuve. I mean, they're clearly trying to walk him.
So now Springer will stand in. He is not going to bat. They'll walk him intentionally in. And you got the lefty Singleton waiting on deck against the lefty Hardy. So that's a huge out of Altuve there. This really gives the Tigers a chance to get out of this inning.
And Bo Porter has Chris Carter on his bench, but Carter, he struck out 4 times yesterday. And I guess Carter's kind of fallen out of favor. He's a right-hander with power, but he didn't get the start today against the left-hander, Drew Smyly. Yeah.
So there is the intentional walk to Springer. That'll put runners at first and third. That'll bring up Singleton. Well, he came up there facing a lefty in the 6th inning and walked with the bases loaded. And right now, that is the difference in the game. That made it 5-2. It's now 5-4. Singleton looks at ball 1 outside.
Avila needs to be aware if the fact that Springer takes off for second base and stops as he did a couple of days ago. You might just want to hold the baseball. Holiday's the catcher, but a couple of days ago when he took off and stopped and Avila threw the ball down toward first base and it ended up in right field, and Altuve came home to score. I was told that was a design play by them.
It was?
Yeah.
Well, you kind of thought it was when you looked at it on the replay.
But you don't usually see it in the big leagues. I mean, you see it in the minors.
Drilled to center field, a base hit. 6 for Astros as Singleton comes through in a big spot in the 8th. 2-run game.
It's one of the things that we talk about all the time. It only takes one swing. And that's a good swing there by Singleton, who had struck out 3 times today, and he walked with the bases loaded, but he climbed the ladder to get a fastball. Didn't take that big swing he'd been taking all afternoon long, and got a base hit right back up the middle.
What a huge knock. It's going to bring up Guzman now. 14th hit of this game for the Astros, and a ball inside. Second RBI of the day for Singleton. Makes it a 2-run contest. Two and 0. Guzman had a single back in the first, which knocked in a run. His only hit in this ball game. Got himself a pretty good count here. 2-0 with 2 on. And he shoots this one foul outside of the bag at third. Two balls, 1 strike. Corcoran got it started here in the 8th with a double. Was taken out of the game for a pinch runner. They sacrificed the runner to third, and now they've gotten him in with 2 outs. In the air down the right field line, heading back to the seats, out of play. Tigers scheduled in the 9th have Suarez, Romine, Jackson, 8-9-1 in the lineup, and they have used Ian Kinsler. Tigers had Davis and Don Kelly still on the bench. Little chopper right back to the mound. Hardy will handle this one. That'll end the inning. However, big insurance run crosses for Houston. We're on our way to the 9th. 6-4 is our score in favor of the Houston Astros. Right now we check in with Trevor Thompson, a preview of what's coming up on Tigers Live.
Well, Mario, we just heard from Lindsay inside the Coliseum studio. She'll be anchoring Tigers Live immediately after this one. I'll go inside the clubhouse and get Brad Ausmus's reaction. I'll talk to Drew Smiley about his outing, and we'll talk about this series as a whole with the Tigers once this one's over. But, of course, we've still got a few more outs to go, so let's get it back upstairs to you and Rod for the top of the ninth.
All right, Trev, thanks. It'll be Eugenio Suarez to lead things off. Suarez, Romine, Jackson due up here. Castro is coming to the ball game to catch.
And Tony Sipp still on the mound here in the top half of the ninth inning, who threw 3 outstanding off-speed pitches to Ian Kinsler to strike him out in the top half of the 8th.
Marwin Gonzalez is the new shortstop. First pitch is hammered in the air to center. Presley going back, drifting to the warning track. One pitch, 1 out for Sipp. Here is the upcoming pitching matchup presented by Gordon Chevrolet. We're going to see Scott Kazmir and Sanchez tomorrow.
And Kazmir having a sensational season his first year pitching for the Oakland Athletics, and the A's as a team, they have won 4 straight. So it's going to be a challenge, no doubt, every time these two teams hook up.
Got a pinch hitter now for Romine. The Tigers dip into their bench, and Rajay Davis will hit. They need a base runner to bring the tying run to the plate. 2-run game. Davis takes strike 1 right at the knees. 0-1.
Tony Sipp does not have a save this year for the Astros.
Fouled straight back, and now the count is 0-2. Chad Qualls is still throwing in the Houston bullpen. Oh, 2 on Rajay Davis, the pinch hitter for Romine here in the 9th. Stayed away. 1-2 on Rajay. Davis 6 hits on the road trip, hitless in the series, 0 for 3. Skied in the air to shallow left. Gonzalez going back. Now he's called off by L.J. Hose. And there are 2 gone now. Tigers down to their final out. Fans, don't forget to follow every Tigers game with MLB.com at Pat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replays, scores, stats, audio, and a whole lot more. Download in the App Store or visit Tigers.com. So Tony Sipp trying to finish this one off. Came on to get the big strikeout of Kinsler with a tying run at 3rd in the 8th. And now Jackson stands his way here in the 9th. Austin is 0 for 4. Floats in for a strike, 0-1. Not a whole lot of success against Tony Sipp. 0 for 7. 4 strikeouts. There's a fastball that missed away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Astros are 1 out away from taking 2 out of 3. Took it home plate. And the count now is 1-2. So the crowd now coming to his feet. Tony Sipp 1 strike away. for Astros. Bounce again. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Porter's got to be thinking, if we win this game today, we really had a chance to sweep this series. Kinsler hit the dramatic homer yesterday.
Well, they shut down the Tigers' big bats, and that's really the difference in the series. They slowed down Miggy, and they also slowed down Victor.
Got him, strike 3, and that is your ballgame. 1-2-3, 9th inning for Sip, who comes on for the final 4 outs. And Houston takes 2 out of 3 in this series against Detroit.
Well, let's take a look at the big boys' big play of the game. And our last look at Jose Altuve this year, who had 3 more hits today. He stole 2 more bases this afternoon, which gives him a total of 36. Now, he was in the middle of everything that the Houston Astros did from a positive standpoint against Tigers pitching. Fun player to watch, but not against your squad.
So the Astros pound out 14 hits. They win 6-4. We'll be back to Houston.